All right, we're going to pick up on our session on Star Trek Navajo from the previous session where Captain Perron was able to successfully delay the Zinkethi onslaught by 3 days until he had a chance to meet a certain ancient species believed to be the demons by the Zinkethi. With that, though, I'd like to ask Captain Perron, where are you currently at?
I'm going to guess in my reading room. Oh, I guess since my XO's not here, I guess I'm on the bridge. Take that back.
Are you at a work site?
Currently, what are your standing orders, Captain, as you've been waiting for the 3 days to pass?
Now we've stayed yellow alert, and we had Vogel work out with the rest of the Helms crew to set up a patrol route for the Navajos. We've been patrolling the sector and keeping a deep scan or long range scans out, waiting for the Zenkethi to arrive.
Oh, during that time, so the Zikethi dreadnought did enter orbit. They haven't beamed anyone down just yet.
Oh, in that case, then we're probably sitting right next to the Artemis, keeping an eye on the Zenkethi dreadnought. Still keeping long range scans going because we don't know where the rest of the Zenkethi ships are. I don't think. Just monitoring the situation while we wait for the Artemis science crew to finish studying the sea people.
No one wants to pronounce the name. If there's nothing on the Navajo, we're going to jump down to the planet's surface then.
Oh, good. We finally have a map.
Doctor, what is the status report?
I'm running a new scan now. Just a moment. Okay. And I would, in fact, like to take a new scan of the body below me. In front of me?
It's in a giant tube.
Oh, okay.
So that's
It was a semi-flat surface last time. So
yeah, I had to take some liberties. So I figured it would kind of pop out of the ground or whatnot. So, give me a reason plus medicine, difficulty 2.
okay. Research or xenobiology focus?
I will take xenobiology.
No momentum, so no extra dice.
Gain a momentum.
Commander, it looks like our new friend here is almost done cooking. She should be ready shortly to be decanted. I am assuming it's a female based on the database of the Caelythans that I've found. Caelythan? I'm still not sure how to pronounce. I'll ask her shortly. Uh, did the security teams find any clothing? Any kind of outfit or uniform that was left around for them to get dressed in once they finished growing?
I don't believe so that they did, but I will have some appropriate clothing beamed down.
Good. I'm sure a nice outfit will go a long way for intergalactic diplomacy. I can send a body scan up to our tailor if you'd like.
That might prove helpful. Doctor?
Yes, sir. And I will, in fact, run a quick tricorder scan and send the dimensional information up to the ship. Um, if I could, I'd like to use that momentum to obtain information.
Certainly.
Can I tell if they're going to be conscious when the cycle completes? Or if they're going to decant and be still unconscious and we'll need to move them to a nearby table? Okay. Well, Commander, it looks like our new friend will be awake to answer questions as soon as the cycle finishes. Nurse, be ready to catch. They're probably not used to using their muscles yet. They may need some help standing. And I'll look over at Devos for that.
Understood. Check with the other medical teams at the other 3 bunkers. Let's make sure that the process is going the same as it is over here.
Right away, man. And I will leave Devos on site and head to one of the other bunker chambers.
I was thinking you could just probably comm badge over if you want.
Oh, okay. Do that too. This is Dr. Joro to Team 2. Please report.
Yes, doctor.
How's your patient going?
He should be awake within the next few hours.
Fantastic. We are trying to arrange for garments for our new friends. Make sure you get a dimensional scan of the body and send it up to the ship. We're going to try and provide them with something to wear.
Noted, doctor. Though I don't know about yours, ours seems to be replicating garments for them inside this chamber.
Interesting. Is my chamber doing the same thing?
You can give me like just an insight, master engineering difficulty 0.
I will do insight engineering. I'll peek into the tank. Ah. So it is. It looks like your process is a little further along in that regard than ours is. I hadn't noticed it yet. Understood. Let me know if you encounter any complications. And we'll try to group all of them together in my current chamber when they're decanted.
Will do.
Doctor
Team 2 out.
And I will repeat the process for the other 2 teams.
They report the same.
Okay.
I suppose Captain Perone of the Navajo would like to know what's going on.
Quite possibly. Would you like me to brief him, or would you like you to do it?
I'll go ahead and do that.
Very well. I'll be here. I'll let you know when our delegation is awake. I
Understood.
like that. A delegation.
Commander here to USS Navajo.
Navajo here. Go ahead, Commander.
Captain Perone, I thought you'd like to know that our would-be
Delegation.
species is about to weak.
Ah, wonderful. You don't mind me and my science officer will be down in mid to help out.
Understood. Well, I'll wait your arrival.
Right, will nod and head to the transporter bay, I assume.
Commander Solak, report to the bridge. You'll have the con while I'm down on the surface until the XO gets back.
Acknowledge, Captain.
So look, are you bringing down a supporting character?
I can. What type of supporting character would the captain like?
Captain is thinking. Well, until I can bring Solid down, I take an engineer.
All right, Erica Archambault.
I will let you pick.
Today is the 13th. I guess I'll give her a value. There. Archambault is all set.
Yay!
All right, let's beam down to the surface.
Are you beaming down on the surface or inside the bunker?
We're gonna head down to wherever the Artemis crew is.
All right. Just need a control plus engineering assisted by the ship's sensors plus science. Difficulty 1.
This is to beam down.
Yep.
Right, I'll roll the transporter chief. Control engineering. Roll. And then the ship as well, sorry.
Yes, sensor science.
Sensors and science.
One more dice because I believe you have advanced sensors.
Oh, we do, that's right. I keep forgetting that. You'd think as the engineer I'd remember that. There we go.
Gain 3 momentum. So I believe you're up to 4.
Archambault says, "Wow! Look at this! This is amazing!
I know, isn't it?
I could spend a lifetime studying this one room."
I could spend a lifetime studying this maturation technology they have. I'll point to the person in the tank. 3 days.
So these are the demons, right? That's who they were. These are the demons.
Perhaps, Ensign, we won't call them that in their presence. That's not our name for them. I'm sure it's not their name for themselves.
Of course, Captain. They just don't seem very demonic to me.
Caelythan is what we've been calling him. That's the name I found in the database earlier. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
That's okay. I've probably been pronouncing them wrong from Commander Kier's logs since we found out about them. Hopefully, we'll get to meet one soon.
Another hour or so? I wonder if she's conscious of us already. I'm gonna like nose up to the glass like a child in an aquarium and kind of see if there's any kind of facial responses or the eyes open on the person inside of the cloning vat.
Well, I hope they don't mind fingerprints and nose prints on the glass.
What are your orders, sir?
She's
Go ahead, Rye. You can say what you want to say first.
she seems to be sleeping right now, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure if she's aware, but she might be dreaming.
Any cerebral activity at all? If she's dreaming, there'd be something.
Oh yes, there's been plenty of neural activity. I expect when the system finishes and the tank decants, they'll be awake and conscious.
So, what have you learned about them so far?
I will walk over, snag a pad off the table, hand it to the captain. These are my notes so far.
Captain will look them over. Look back at Commander Kier. So, Commander Kier, have you found anything new that might help me with the Zenkethi?
I'm afraid not. Anything that's, well, knowledge-wise, is probably contained within beside these people.
Well, hopefully we'll get answers soon. Our deadline with the Zenkethi is rapidly approaching.
Speaking of that, what are your thoughts on the Zenkethi? You think they really will force an attack on us?
I think they're afraid of these people that they think are their demons that conquered them 1,000 years ago. Like many, they'll react violently and out of fear. If they were willing to agree to completely cede this planet to us, if we just let them destroy this installation and these people.
That definitely makes them sound desperate.
Considering how territorial they normally are, I agree with you. The real question is, what do we do if these people turn out to be just like the Zenkethi described them?
I guess we'll cross that bridge when the time comes.
Cross it, burn it, blow it up, one of those.
I should hope not.
Captain, should we do any sort of scanning or investigation into the technology here?
I'll see what you can learn. I'm sure the Artemis team would appreciate a fresh set of eyes.
I could spend all day just looking at this.
You have
I
about
think
40. You have about 45 minutes, Vincent.
Okay. I guess the first thing to figure out is what is powering this stasis field? What type of energy? I think that'll be the first thing that I scan for.
Ensign, if you're interested, there's a secondary console right over there to the right that we've been using to access the power usage.
This right here?
No, I'm sorry, behind me. The big round thing.
Oh, thank you.
It's a radialish interface. You'll figure it out.
Out of character. Did you mean this right here?
No, I was talking about, hold on. Ping. Nope, doesn't let me ping. Top center.
That's a door.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
door.
is that a door?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Could have swore I saw something else that looked like a interface around here. I don't know. Just pretend there, or maybe one of these tables down here at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll go to the tables down here. Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, Joro Valen.
Oh, hi, Erica Arshimbo. Thank you, Doctor.
Pleasure.
Okay. All right. Let's do a scan of the power in this chamber here.
Reason plus engineering difficulty 2.
I'll buy a die with momentum.
So many nines.
Apparently. All right, Captain, based on the initial scan here, the power source here seems to be some sort of heat exchange from the planet's core, similar to geothermal.
Fascinating. Well, that would explain why it's been active for so long. Any idea how long this facility's been here?
Our
Indeterminate.
estimates is, well, we did conduct some additional survey on that. Our estimates, sir, indicate roughly around at least 1,000 years. Perhaps a little bit longer than that.
Interesting. That would match the Zenkethi's records for how long since the last time they encountered their demons. Lieutenant Rye, feel free to investigate anything that strikes your curiosity.
Yes. Yeah, right, Captain. Let's see. Geothermal. Age. Actually, can I see those notes real quick?
My notes, sir?
No, the ones that Dr. Joro handed to Captain Perron.
I will go ahead and point out those are mainly notes on the species that's been growing here and the maturation technology. It's some kind of a bioregenerative field inside of the tank. I haven't quite seen this energy pattern before in anything outside of, I don't know, theoretical simulations.
Yeah, using the geothermal, and then I want to see if I can sort of pinpoint what kind of pattern it is to see if I can, rule anything out or see something maybe from a scientific more point of view. Put pieces together.
You might have to re-explain that to me, what you're after. Um, you're trying to. I mean, they're using a very sophisticated geothermal type system. It's not like traditional geothermal energy. Like if it's sort of like geothermal, but like times 100 in a way in terms for efficiency. So it's
Oh,
yeah, they're able to collect large amounts of energy from the planet's core to power this these facilities. From my understanding, the way the GME created this, it's similar to like an organic type printer and using replicator technology for this is how the menstruation chamber sort of works. And that would be in Dr. Phelan's sort of notes.
So it's like replicator
Okay.
technology?
Kinda. Like
Okay.
it's like a hybrid of like two different forms of uh, systems. Think of, have you seen The Fifth Element? It's
Yes.
kind of similar to that when they reconstructed one of the the individual
Got it.
from like just a fragment.
So is that what they're doing, or is it more along they're creating a whole new person and just there's like a stored consciousness somewhere?
My understanding was it's a body based on a DNA strand that was previously stored, and there's a pattern. There's a neural pattern being uploaded to it as it was created.
So it would have the memories and thoughts of these beings long before they perished.
Correct. At least, as best as I can tell.
The database to hold memories of that kind, consciousness in a way, must be immense.
Well, Captain, if your team can find it, you can marvel me with it later.
So we don't know where the database is then for the consciousnesses? Consciousness? Oh, whatever.
The neural engrams, that's what I've been calling them. And no, I haven't been able to find hide nor hair of it in my searches.
I could attempt to access it, but it would be difficult. This is technology that I'm not familiar with and an alien language that I'm not sure of.
Well, maybe if we put our heads together, we can figure something out.
I will zip my tricorder's language profile that it's managed to put together so far over to them.
So you've broken down their language to a certain degree?
Not quite. Vocabulary of a 4-year-old. I can get the general idea of some of the things that I've been able to access, but the Universal Translator is still working it out.
Without the Universal Translator, we're just sort of flying blind in the dark.
Well, I imagine once it gets an auditory sample from our friend here, it will be able to piece things together more easily.
I think the idea here is that we'd have a bit more understanding of their technology and what can happen before our friend here wakes up.
We've got approximately 31 minutes.
Well, let's give it a shot. See what we can. Maybe there's something more intuitive to it. Maybe we can piece something together.
I have no points of reference. I don't know what to touch, what to access. The only thing I can think of doing is using the tricorder to try and access the computer system. But then once the computer data comes back, it'll be in a language the tricorder doesn't understand.
Well, perhaps do we have anything that might work as a Rosetta Stone to help us build a language database with?
I could send the data back to the ship, and maybe the ship or the linguists on the ship can start to work on it.
Maybe we don't look. Math is a universal constant. Maybe we look for formulas. Things in science that can't be really altered in the way that they're explained.
So try and find mathematical equations within the database to see if there's commonality with what we understand of math. That's what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
I guess it's worth a shot. What would we find out, though? We would just find out that they have an understanding of math just as we do. Is it just to basically get information so that way it makes it easier for us to translate their language?
Well, if we understand their math, in a sense, and we understand how they view the same things we view, we might have a better understanding about how their language works.
I guess it's worth a
But
shot.
mostly, like, why would they use, like, if we see the math that we would use for this particular problem, it might help gain some insight.
I don't think we've got anything that's on the same level as this. We don't reconstitute living tissue like this and then insert consciousness into it. And she looks at the
but 2
doctor.
plus
She
2
looks at the
always equals
doctor.
4.
Well, I wanted to look, and she looks at the doctor and says, "We don't do that, do we?"
There are certain cloning methods that can duplicate a neural pattern. Triphasic cloning, when that person pops out, they usually have some basic understanding of their own language, how to speak, how to do math. I've not actually met a triphasic clone. I don't know how much of the original personality really survives, though.
All right.
But I know they
So
can talk when they come out.
I guess step one is downloading the data that we can download onto the tricorder.
You want to take that, or you want me to give it a go?
It's up to you, sir.
Contact the Artemis. I think that you can get the data that we got from our first attempts. It might be at least a good point of reference.
Captain, do you concur?
Let's give it a try. We got a little time. I might take a stab at seeing what I can decipher that language while we wait.
Commander, do you mind contacting your ship so that way we can get access to this data?
Not at all. Ensign?
after a while, I mean, they send down the data that they've collected. A lot of the data should have been already technically supposed to have been passed over to you guys. So,
Okay.
but it is very fundamental at best. The issue is that, like, there's not like a Rosetta Stone type deal. So
Based on the data that we have so far, Captain, there doesn't seem to be any sort of Rosetta Stone that we can use as a reference to understand their language.
Well, it's worth a shot.
What I could do, based on what Lieutenant Rye was suggesting a moment ago, is I could try and download the data that we can right here now and see if there are any mathematical equivalents to what we understand.
I think Lieutenant Rye's idea has merit. Language may change from place to place, but physics remains much the same, as I understand it.
I guess the only question I'd have is, we understand math using numbers, but what are numbers in their language?
Well, that's what we'll endeavor to find out. And I mean, once we figure out what it is, like I said, math is a constant. 1 + 1 equals 2, no matter where you are.
All right. I'll attempt to download the data that we can here into the tricorder. Would you like me to roll for that, GM?
I'm typing it out in Discord, but I'll just say this for the chat. From my understanding, like, the basic language was kind of like figured out from some of the stone ruins, based on some, like, similar other species language. So, like, got like a basic the basic fundamentals. Like, but it's not like, it wasn't clear because many of the stone ruins, due to like erosion and stuff like that, or cracking or breaking from seismic activity, so we couldn't really uncover a lot. A lot of the machines did not contain any information on the actual species itself, just the basic operations of the actual devices.
So what we'll try and do here is use that data with that knowledge to find some information in the data here that gives us something about the actual species.
I will tell you, there's no roll because the Artemis did this not in the previous session as well. They
Gotcha.
didn't uncover anything on it.
Okay.
Weird thought. Can I scan this person being's brain for information?
Do you have a
Synapse.
Do you have a device that reads neural activity?
I mean, there's a basic synaptic scanner in any tricorder, but I'm sure I could get something sent down from the Artemis.
I can tell you right now, my character is a walking, talking telepath. So,
Well, that's true.
That's ironic because Perot has wandered over to Lieutenant Rye and has asked her, Rye, can you sense anything from the Caelythan?
Well, she's asleep. I'm not able to delve much further about physical contact. Vulcan.
Commander, are you able to sense anything from them?
Heather's chat says she is asleep. It's just faint imagery. It's really random. Like, walking in what seems to be a city, trees. So it does appear, I guess, they're people, or many of them have silver or whitish hair. Like I said, it's kind of hard to all make out through it in depth. It is also far enough for me to really poke in someone's memory, so it's just surface thoughts.
Well, I suppose we don't have much to do but wait for her to wake up. I wonder if we should have food set down. Doctor, have you been able to determine anything about her potential diet? Could the Caelythan eat our food?
I don't know. DM, have I been able to determine anything about their diet?
I mean, they have all the usual humanoid functions in terms for digesting food.
Do they
whether or not
seem omnivorous, or?
it seems like they're an omnivore, so type species.
I'm just saying, if it was me, I'd probably be hungry when I woke up.
That's a fair point. Actually, as a thought, they did terraform this world to their own specifications. I know I took scans of several edible plants that were on the surface. Maybe they specifically put those plants there.
But do they look like decorative plants or food plants?
Oh no, several of them are edible. There was a very interesting large blue fruit on one of the trees. I would kind of equate it to an earth pear or a real gabar.
Perhaps we should have some, if you've got detailed enough scans, perhaps replicate some and send it down with, I don't know, carafe of water and some glasses.
Yeah, I'm not exactly a first contact specialist. I'll leave that in your capable hands, Captain.
Yep, Perone will have, some water and a light, some sort of light or path beam down in case the person is hungry when they wake up.
Okay.
Might as well be civil for first contact.
Yeah, you beam down, some food, and as the time, I'm assuming you're just waiting at this point.
Oh yeah, waiting and analyzing.
As the time gets closer, on the table over here, a cup materializes with some sort of like gray liquid in it.
Boss, get a scan of that if you can.
It looks like they've already thought about food when they wake up.
And clothing. I was afraid they might come out of the tank naked.
Anyone taking
Oh,
scans?
right, that's a big deal. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I'll take a scan.
I
The
asked
Betazoid looked over. It's like naked.
well.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Is the I think
I'll,
I think the doctor's doing the scan of the liquid.
No, I asked my
Okay.
nurse to do it, but if your science officer would like to as well.
the nurse can do it. I mean, I don't know. What kind of scan would it be?
And there's no role for it. It is essentially a, because you could say, a protein type shake full of amino acids, vitamins, minerals, pretty much like a big power shake type deal.
Whey protein. The same thought.
And there also might be some like bacterial type stuff in it. Thinking it could be to kickstart their, digestive system
Digestive
type deal.
health.
Yep.
Wow, they were fully prepared to arrive alone, weren't they? I imagine this many faces to greet them will be a surprise.
That it's a good thought, Doctor. Perhaps we should give her a little room. She's going to be a little. You are correct. She'll be probably. I anticipate she'll be quite surprised when she awakens. Being surrounded by a bunch of aliens standing at her may be a little much.
I will hand my a tablet back to DeVos, the Orion next to me, and say, "Go ahead and return to the ship. Go ahead and start uploading this when you get there."
She nods and steps aside and moves out. No fancy graphic. As the essentially the pod, large rust of steam kind of arose from the pod, and the glass chamber, sort of, raises and,
Retract.
yeah, opens up, and
Soup's done.
as she's standing there, her eyes slowly awake, and she suddenly seems a bit startled.
I'm going to, with my friendliest bedside manner, be holding out one hand like I'm offering to help her down. And smiling but not showing teeth. And with the other hand, beckoning her down and towards the table. Hello, and welcome back to the land of the living.
She just stares at you for a moment and looks at you inquisitively.
Are you able to understand me? Well, Commander, are you able to get anything from them now?
She seems to be guarded.
Pro will wander over, pick up the glass with the cray liquid in it, and walk over to the Chilean and hand it to her.
She takes it, looks at you, looks at the cup, and then drinks the liquid in its entirety.
Definitely hungry. I'm going to pull my tricorder back out and begin scanning.
Prone will just kind of tap on his chest, David Prone, and then hand out it, and then kind of gesture towards her like, and you are.
She just kind of looks at you. Your language is quite interesting. Please speak more of it.
Oh,
That's
are you speaking? Is she speaking our language, or is the universal translator catching her?
She sounds like the universal translator is catching it because I don't think you really speak English.
Well, I speak Trill, but
That's ironic because I was going to ask you to do the same thing, but you seem to have picked up our language faster than we picked up yours. I'm Captain David Perone of the United Federation of Planets, and may we know your name?
Sesa. It's the short term of it. The rest of it is incomprehensible to your language.
Well, then I appreciate a short term. We have been calling you Caelythans because we don't know how to pronounce the name of your people. But we discovered we discovered your facility not long ago, and then it woke up.
it had to be repaired, or it woke up. But yes,
Nearest we can tell, I think, Dr. Commander, correct me if I'm wrong, that you've been inactive for almost a millennia.
Intriguing. Then you have my thanks for reactivating this facility.
Was a millennia longer than you had intended to be inactive?
No. Only a matter of decades.
Well, let's see. We need to talk so you can pick up more of our language. Well, all right. Well, we represent an organization known as the United Federation of Planets. We're a federation of over 200 worlds that work together cooperatively for mutual protection and discovery and science. Mostly our goal is to, well, I hate to be a cliche, but to seek out strange new worlds and meet new people. And for us, you qualify. I'm led to believe, from what we understand of your writings, that your people fled to our quadrant. You were escaping, running from someone?
Yes.
Is that correct?
We were involved in a great conflict. We traveled through a wormhole to get to here.
We're familiar with the wormhole. We've just recently discovered it ourselves 2-3 years ago. We've run into some diplomatic issues with a nation state over there that calls themselves the Dominion. I don't know. It's been 1,000 years. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yes. We are very aware of the Dominion.
Are you familiar with a species called the Zenkethi?
I am not familiar with that term. Can you provide a description?
Can I pull up a picture of one on my tricorder?
Ah, the Ashu. We are familiar with these species.
You encountered them when you arrived in our quadrant. Then
We did.
and what were your relations with the Zenkethi, as they call themselves? What were your relations with the Zenkethi when you encountered them?
They are primitive. Excellent soldiers. Though they lack certain discipline.
What do you mean?
The fear gets the better of them.
You say they were excellent soldiers. Did your relationship with them include conflict?
No offense, but we used them in our war against the Dominion. As you can see, we lost that conflict.
Use them as in you bargained or hired for their services, or did you?
Roll them.
I am unfamiliar with these terms. Elaborate.
Did they aid you
Service
against the
soldiers
Dominion?
against their will?
Yes, at first it was against their will, but they soon learned that obedience was in their best interest. We did take good care of them, if that is what you're asking. We even gave them certain enhancement abilities to help us fight.
Like what?
Increased strength, Enagram for preservation, better survival instincts, you must understand, the Dominion enthralled the Jem'Hadar and used the Jem'Hadar as tools for their wake of destruction and their conquest of not only our space, but other several species as well. If one did not bend the knee, one will surely perish to the Dominion. And the Dominion did not trust us. We've tried many times to seek peace, but they refused each time. We had no choice but to use the Zenkethi, as you call them.
And so your own peril to your people justifies the involuntary servitude of another sentient species.
It was that or destruction. Unfortunately, destruction came our way no matter what. But it did buy us time to seek out worlds where there was no intelligent species at, in an attempt to build terraforming devices in these bunkers to rebuild our civilization.
And that's your plan, to terraform uninhabited worlds and repopulate your people.
Yes. And rebuild the Caelythan civilization.
Tell me a little bit about your civilization. I'm curious about your people, culture, beliefs, that sort of thing.
What would you like to know? I appear to be at your mercy. I assume that the other bunkers have individuals, such as yourselves, greeting my companions as they awake from their slumber.
Oh, of course. We're unfamiliar with your technology. We wanted to make sure that you were reactivated, for lack of a better term, in good condition. Plus, as I said, one of our goals in the Federation is to meet new people, get to know them, develop relationships with them.
If I may, for just a moment, Captain. My name is Dr. Valen. I am a medical practitioner. I ensure the health and soundness of the bodies of my fellows. How are you feeling right now?
I feel at 100% peak efficiency.
I'm going to hold up two figures. How many digits am I holding up?
She responds with the appropriate number of digits.
Okay. Can I see your hand for just a moment?
She shows her the palm of her hand.
I reach out and take it gently, and I tap fingertip, knuckle joint, and then center of the palm. Are you able to feel that?
Yes.
Thank you. The body seems to be in full working order. Remarkable system. Thank you for your indulgence, Captain.
Thank you, Doctor. Well, won't we begin with the type of government your people practice?
We have a form of elected representatives that speak for our people. Though in the final days we did turn over the, well, state of government to more military-minded individuals, we mainly value science and cooperation.
Well, those are values of the Federation as well, and it sounds similar to our form of government. Each member world has representatives in the Federation Council. We move as one after debate and discussion. Though that's simplifying it quite a bit. But for the moment, we have a more immediate concern. That is the Zenkethi. is that the Zenkethi are here, and they remember your people. Not fondly.
I see. That is most unfortunate. It seems that you have bought time for us to, well, some of us, to awaken.
I believe in total there are 4 of you. Commander Kier, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
I think what we need to do is we need to find a way to open diplomatic relations with the Zenkethi, or it's going to be difficult. But we need to reassure them that your people will not seek to enthrall them again, that you have no hostile intent towards them. Because that would be accurate, I hope.
Not at this time, no. Though they did make excellent workers.
Well, I should tell you that quite a bit has changed in this part of the universe since you were last active. One of the common values of the Federation is autonomy, that sentient beings have a right to autonomy, that Federation worlds do not make slaves out of other sentient species.
An intriguing sentiment.
Well, when you give a species, a people, the autonomy to grow on their own, and then meld their values and their culture and their knowledge to the rest of the Federation, we become stronger as a whole. To enslave and to one is to hold them back, to oppress them. Ultimately weakens the whole.
And the Zenkethi are part of your coalition? This Federation of Planets?
Not at this time. They have chosen to stay separate, but we have a peace with them that I'd like to maintain.
I assume that has to do with us.
Right now, your reactivation is causing a strain on the relationship.
They want to bomb these bunkers from orbit.
I see. And what exactly is your role here on this world?
Well, truthfully, before we learned about you and your people, our intent was to colonize this world.
Does that intent still remain?
For the moment, it does. And frankly, I think that we should find perhaps a different new homeworld for your people, someplace further from the Zenkethi.
That would be problematic.
Why?
To ensure proper survival, these bunkers must operate at full capacity and cannot be easily transported to another world.
Well, I'm not suggesting that we allow the Zenkethi to destroy this, but once you have grown enough of your population for it to be viable, we can resettle you on another world, far away from Zenkethi space.
This world was created to acclimate our people, designed to create at least a favorable odds in terms for repopulation.
And there are thousands upon thousands of worlds in the quadrant, many of them uninhabited. We can work together to find one that suits your people's needs. One again, far away from Zenkethi space, which would solve our issues with the Zenkethi, I hope.
You do not sound sure of yourself.
The Zenkethi are an aggressive species, but the commander and their current that they've sent out to deal with this now seems at least willing to listen. I propose that you and the other three of your people come with me. We'll sit down with the Federation Council. We'll get Federation help find. You can give our scientists the specifications for the worlds you need, and we'll find a world for you to repopulate. It'll give us something to tell the Zenkethi that we're relocating you somewhere far from their space. That will calm them down.
I must remain here in order to ensure the survivability of our species. I was awakened first for my understanding of this technology and how it works.
Well, the captain's not saying we relocate you immediately.
Correct. You did say you need this facility to repopulate your species. So again, grow. I don't know if that's the right term or not. Enough your people for the species to be viable, and move them. But for now, the facility is operating. It's been operating for 1,000 years. It's not going anywhere. Let's go back to the Federation. Find another homeworld for your people, and then we can begin rebuilding your people somewhere less politically sensitive.
And your people will guarantee the safety of mine? This bunker, as you call it, will be able to produce 3 million of my people.
All the more reason to find a viable world before we wake the rest of them up. Because think of it this way, a world far from the Zenkethi would also put you far from the wormhole, far from the Dominion. I would think being somewhere other than right close to the wormhole would be preferable to you.
The Dominion threaten your people as well? They've expanded their borders into this quadrant?
Not at this time, but things are tense with the Dominion. It may come to conflict, it may not. That's a preview for the ambassadors. But we are making preparations in case the Dominion decides to press a claim.
The Dominion in conflict with them is inevitable. They use trickery and deception to weaken their enemies before they invade.
Well, I'm sure we will benefit from your knowledge of the Dominion, but personally, if you're correct and we're inevitably in conflict with the Dominion, I would prefer not to be in conflict on more than one front, which means maintaining the peace of the Zenkethi.
Perhaps you should talk with the Zenkethi first.
Well, I need to have something to tell them. They are quite agitated at your reawakening. It would facilitate negotiations if I could tell them that your people are willing to be moved far from their space and would agree to not enthrall them again.
You will need to provide certain accommodations for us. Can make no guarantees for my entire people. There are others who might wish to use the Zenkethi. We have many construction projects we would need to undertake. Housing millions of people in a short time is quite an undertaking.
Well, fortunately, you'll have millions of people to provide that labor.
Are there more of these biogenerative facilities than just the 4 we've found?
Only the 4 on this world.
And you said that was 3 million people? Is that among all 4 facilities?
No, just this one.
And it takes approximately 3 to 5 days to grow one body.
No, that is incorrect. Just me takes the longest. To ensure proper reconstruction, I will be remaining here to ensure that the reconstruction of other individuals.
How long does it
Progress.
take to form a body with this system? That is not you.
6 hours.
Oh. Well, that would expedite the process greatly.
This is not the only chamber either.
All the
Yeah,
more
that
reason to
sounds
find
cool.
you a new homeworld before you begin regrowing your people.
If I do not start the process within a lot of time, it will then reconstruct another appropriate individual to begin or for replacement of myself. The system would assume that there was an error in my reconstruction and will provide a new template.
Now, can you place a halt on that process?
I cannot. The system was designed to be redundant in case of an emergency.
How much time?
12 hours of this planet's rotation.
So in 12 hours, you're going to begin regrowing your people.
In 12 hours, it will regrow someone like me again.
If you don't start the process in 12 hours.
Correct.
Well, at this moment, I would say that you, since you were awakened first, speak for your people than the other three. Perhaps we should have the other three brought here so that we can work out a deal with the Zenkethi.
And where will we have this deal be made?
We might be more comfortable on one of our ships.
I am at your mercy.
But do I have it right that you and the other three speak for the entirety of your people? That you could make agreements for your people, at least now, at least until more are grown.
Potentially. I would need to discuss it with the others.
Well, you'll need to be together with the others for that to happen. I invite you and your three companions aboard my ship, the USS Navajo, and give you a chance to confer with them. Is that agreeable with you?
I see no other choice in the matter.
I'll take that as agreement. Excuse me for a moment. Perun will step to the side, call up to the Navajo to his yeoman, have them arrange for VIP guest quarters for the four Caelythans. Commander Kier, any objection to me inviting them aboard the Navajo?
None at all. If you don't mind, I would like to be present for that, and I think my doctor would like to be as well.
You're both welcome aboard. Always like an opportunity to show my girl off. Have you been in communication with the other three teams? Are the Caelythans there awoken as well?
They have had some are disagreeable. It's easy to have little problems at least two of them. To the other two locations.
Prom will go back to what's her name?
Sesa.
Sesa, excuse me. Do you have a means to communicate with the other three and let them know what's going on?
Yes, I do need access that console over there.
By all means, there seems to be some difficulty in a couple of the pods.
Not surprising.
Prom will gesture in the direction of the console. Please contact your fellows and inform them of what's going on. That we'll be going into orbit.
She nods. as she kind of steps on the platform, you realize she kind of probably stands around roughly close to 6 feet in length. I am trying to remember what the meter conversion of that is, but she is like very tall, very skinny. Physically, she doesn't appear to be very strong. And she starts typing away at the console.
Yeah.
It seems to be operating very quickly, more quickly if you look at a doctor than where you were able to operate it at.
While she's working, Pro's just going to be looking around the room to see if she might be activating other things and pulling a fast one on us.
She stops. I'm ready to be taken to your ship.
And the other three, they understand.
They do.
Very well. Pro will tap his communicator. Transporter room, this is Captain Perone. I'm going to feed you coordinates for 3 other individuals. I want you to beam me and those 4 individuals up, and then bring up the rest of the away team and the Artemis's crew as well. Or bring up Commander Kier and their doctor.
Chief Cox here, sir. Acknowledged.
Energize when you're ready.
Energizing.
Out of curiosity, are you taking the Caelythans to their quarters while everyone meets? Or are they taking them straight? Are you taking them straight to like the conference room?
Perone would get them settled and have them get settled in their quarters, give them a chance to reacquaint themselves. He just thinks that's polite while he gets a conference room set up for their guests. Or for a meeting.
All right.
And just as a routine precaution, he'll assign a security detail. What he needs is a Garibaldi Quinix to bug the room.
Not sure if you want to have like a slight small meeting before you talk with them or not. So, but I've gathered, all the,
Oh, that makes sense. We'll share with Commander Solak all the things that happened on the surface, and then Prone will just open up the table and say, "Thoughts?"
Interesting. They enslaved the. Sorry, I won't get the name right. The Zenkethi in order to prevent the Dominion from destroying them, and the Dominion ended up destroying them regardless.
That's my understanding. My concern is with the casualness at which our friend spoke of it.
When survival is at stake, sir, it is logical to move forward with all alternatives.
Enslaving another sentient species is not an alternative, Commander Solak. It is barbaric act.
I do not condone the action, sir, but when survival is at stake, all alternatives are on the table. Logically speaking, of course.
I did notice something quite fascinating about our guest. While she was speaking to us, every part of her brain was fully engaged. Memory, creativity, reason, all of it. If it were a human, I'd say they were having a neurological episode of some kind.
You were
This,
saying that they were not in. Their system was overwhelmed.
no. I think this is the level they function at.
Interesting. Almost Vulcan-like.
I would think that's maybe accurate, but it seemed like she was very calculated in her responses. No thought, every thought she had was quickly investigated and put into words. She calculated every single possible response she could have towards Captain Perot, and what those responses might be, so that every decision she made was the correct one.
Most interesting.
It's hard to believe. It'd be hard to believe this species lost to the Dominion if they function
Well,
at that
when you're
level.
outnumbered, you're outnumbered. Even with another help. I've read some of the reports out of Deep Space Nine, and what their estimates are. The Dominion is vast.
This species' experience with the Dominion would be invaluable to the Federation, Captain. Their knowledge of the Dominion's tactics, weapons, technology.
1,000-year-old knowledge.
But knowledge nonetheless.
Well, their technology seems to still be ahead of ours, so you have a point there, Commander. But in the immediate term, we need to prevent conflict with the Zenkethi.
But to that point, doesn't it strike anyone else at odd that a species that thinks that fast could, even without logic, condone enslaving into the race to the point where they consider them demons and destroyers of worlds?
Just because they're advanced mentally doesn't mean they're advanced morally. Or that our moral and ethical standards and beliefs are the same as theirs.
They may value survival more so than anything else, more so than ethics or anything else that we would consider important for our collective species.
They may not view sentient species in the way we do. They may view it more as on a technological level. If a species can't progress to a certain level, then they are no more different than how we see animals.
Yes, and I get the impression that within short order there'll be at least 12 million of them.
Captain, what is your strategy for the Zenkethi? They have made it very clear that they do not intend to allow this civilization to thrive again, or for it to survive.
I am hoping that an agreement can be made with the Zenkethi to move the Caelythans away from their space. And a guarantee to the Zenkethi that the Caelythans will not bother them again.
So move them far away from the Zenkethi, so that way they are less of a threat to them.
Yes, precisely.
Do we have any idea where we would move them to?
And that's going to be up to the Federation to find a work with the Caelythans to find a world for them.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame they turned out to be exactly what the Zenkethi thought they were. was hoping. Maybe they could stick around and we could simply share the planet with them.
I fear, just right out of Sace's own words, that they are precisely what the Zenkethi said they were.
Demons, I believe, is what they referred to them as.
I probably wouldn't use that word, but an aggressive species nonetheless.
No. We present the facts that we know. Yes, the Caelythan did enslave their earlier ancestors out of what they believed was necessity. If the necessity is gone, they have no reason to do it again.
The Dominion threat is still at present and at large.
Yes, but now
I get-
Starfleet is in the path of that as well. Threat to them is not immediate and oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Imminent?
Yes.
But it could become imminent at any moment. As is our
Yeah.
current situation with the Dominion.
Yes, but it's not the hound at their heels.
Not yet.
And
And
we
should
also have to consider the logic of populating a world within Federation space with a people that believe that it is proper and okay to enslave another sentient species.
the enslavement of the Zenkethi was 1,000 years ago, perhaps even more. It is possible that this species could learn, adapt, and grow, and understand that such activity is indeed barbaric. Perhaps their association with us will lead them to that course, but it is unpredictable.
One would hope, but just from my short discussion with Sesa, when I asked her about her intentions, she said, "Well, not now," meaning that she still believes such a thing is okay when necessity calls for it.
I get the impression she was willing to use Zenkethi to help build their cities.
That too. She's going to have to learn that her people will help, but her people are going to have to do the hard work themselves, just like any other people.
I'm reminded of the Telosians. Highly intelligent species. Physically limited, so they would attempt to get more able bodies to do their work for them. Or at least that's what I read off of the old report from the Enterprise.
The Cardassians were
To that point.
known. The
Please go right
Cardassians
ahead.
were known to. The Cardassians were also known to enslave the Zenkethi as well, even up until recently.
And is it ethical or logical to condemn an entire species for such actions?
As long as discourse is willing to be had, I don't see where that would be the issue. But at that point, it then turns to the Zenkethi, as they are more aggressive of the two.
Agreed. When all is said and done, Captain, the question remains, will the Zenkethi accept your deal? Will they allow this species to exist on another world?
I don't know, but it's the best deal I've got. Outside of starting a war that we can't afford. Our orders from Starfleet Command are very clear that we are to defend this world. If the Zenkethi attempt to attack it or take it, we go to war.
Outside of character, what is the estimated time of arrival for the Starfleet that's on its way here?
9 days.
9 days. And based on current calculations, Captain, there are 9 days remaining until the fleet arrives.
That's also not to mention Zenkethi reinforcements.
Now, that dreadnought that's out there is not the only ship that's with them.
There is
2-1 now. That could get worse.
There is one other course of action, though I do not necessarily recommend it.
Let the Zenkethi blow up the bunkers.
The Caelythans could share with us their technology that they have there on that planet, and we could replicate it for them on another world. From the Zenkethi point of view, they will have destroyed the facilities there. The world would not be available to the Caelythans. And from our point of view, the Caelythans would be able to grow and repopulate another world, but using technology that they share with us.
And all the DNA samples that are being contained down there?
As I said, I do not recommend the course of action, but it is an alternative.
That might be something worth exploring if we can move the DNA samples.
It would not just need to be the DNA samples, Captain, but the technology itself that allows them to recreate their species. They said specifically that the technology on the planet is what would need to happen, and that the power of the planet is part of it. To replicate that in another world would require their assistance and their active participation, something they may not want to share with us.
Not gonna lie, the Caelythan, I guess, not sketchy, but the way that she was guarded does, again, lead me to believe that she wouldn't share that kind of information with us. Again, I think in more the lesser being aspect, if she views us as that as well, then I don't foresee that really being an option.
Do you think that's jealousy, or do you think they have some form of prime directive themselves?
Maybe more, I mean, you wouldn't give a phaser to a 3-year-old kind of way.
Correct. We are a new species, alien to them completely in every way. For them to share their technology with us so openly and freely would not be logical.
You know what's not logical? Is Sasa's claim that she can't pause the process. That's not logical. What if her and the other 3 were regrown and then found that conditions were not right for their repopulation, or their repopulation needed to wait? There has to be a way for them to stop that process.
Actually, we did do some investigation on that. The process of their regenesis wouldn't have begun until the terraforming process had completed.
What triggered the process to start in the beginning?
The completion of the terraforming, when we repaired their generator.
So once their generator was repaired and the planet was terraformed, then they began the process of reconstitution?
Automatically, yes. And from our investigation, the only way to shut it back down would be to turn off the terraforming system. But then the planet would backslide into a volcanic state.
Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable technology, Captain.
Do you know how to turn off to stop the terraforming so that would happen?
I have no understanding of their technology, Captain. I would need time, significant time. And
Commander
The Artemis crew knows how to do that.
Commander Kane knows how to do that. He was the one who fixed the terraform machine on the surface, but his understanding of it, if it turns off, the planet will slip away and become inhabitable and eventually return to the volcanic world it once was.
Well,
Making the
yes, but
planet
eventually,
useless
like,
for us.
do we have a time frame of how long it would take for that backslide to become a problem? I mean, I'm not talking years. I'm talking
Years.
days. Maybe.
It's
It would take years to go back.
years, from my understanding, but that is still a very short time frame. It still would make the colony obsolete for us. Starfleet wants this world for strategic purposes. At least a briefing I had with Admiral Gibson.
Well, Admiral Gibson might not get everything they want. If pausing the terraforming is the way to stop these people from growing, then we may need to put a pause on it for now.
The other method was to destroy the bunkers, and it's outright. And the terraforming machine was still running to complete its process. But should be complete in a couple of weeks.
Well, what I'm asking though is if we stop the terraforming process, would that stop the regrowing of the Caelythan people long enough for us to find them in a new world?
We don't know. We don't know that it can be
Hi.
stopped. At least
From our side, I
outside
don't
of...
believe it's the case.
Sorry. Go ahead, Commander.
There's no way to really turn off the terraforming process outside of completely shutting it down. If you completely shut it down, it cannot be restarted again.
Well, perhaps there's the way the Caelythians can, once we find them a new home world, restart the regenesis of their people without the terraforming being complete.
Again, the way Commander King spoke of it, the two were linked in some fashion.
It's all or nothing, Captain. The terraforming, the regenesis, it all goes on at the same time or none of it happens.
And from what I gauge, I don't think the Caelythans are Caelythans, or however you say this species, is hedging their bets on one world. I am assuming they've set up multiple worlds for this endeavor.
That had been my thought as well. Any other thoughts before we bring the Caelythians in here?
I imagine they have their argument planned out already. They seem like they... Strictly going by their neural activity and the way they answered our questions, scheming would be second nature. Not scheming. Planning? They might already be 100 moves ahead of whatever we might be thinking. Also, I have no
I
idea
guess that
how
means we shouldn't have a plan.
Well, right now, my thought is to get them to agree to be moved. I hope that that's enough to keep us from going to war with the Zenkethi. Commander Kier, do you have alternate suggestion?
I don't, but I don't trust these people.
That makes two of us.
Honestly, at
My
this
only
point, which
concern
ones?
My only concern would be that they could end up becoming a bigger threat than Dominion. We technically have the advantage about Dominion are on the other side of the wormhole, which their ships are not fast enough to get here otherwise. So as long as we hold DS9, we can control the outcome of any conflict with the Dominion. And I think the Dominion know that. These people, if they're allowed to thrive, they could become a threat that we've never seen before. That is my only concern with this.
They
And
certainly
as
don't
speaking
seem
speaking from as a former intelligence officer.
I understand what your people found, Commander. The only way to is it the only way to stop the regrowth of this people to shut down the terraforming devices?
From my understanding, there is no way to restart it. None that we could detect.
If we stop the process, we can't start it back up again, and the 4 of them are all there is.
And this world becomes less useful to the Federation.
Correct.
I'm gonna ask, are you wanting to bring them in now? I might have missed something.
Yeah, I think so, unless the others disagree. I think we've batted this around the table enough.
Mm-hmm.
There is one alternative. You could have the Caelythans apologize to the Zenkethi.
An apology would not have the same effect unless the Caelythans also promise never to conduct aggressive action against the Zenkethi again.
That, to me, is the more important of the two. I'm not sure the Zenkethi are all that interested in apologies.
dangerous, but without condoning or condemning, offering historical context to their actions might make it seem like less of an affront. We're sorry, but we didn't see any other way at the time. I don't know. I'm a doctor, not a diplomat. I'm just throwing things out there now.
Well, let's get the Caelythans in here and talk to them. See if we can get some concessions out of them.
Should we invite the Zenkethi here as well?
Not yet. Say so. Welcome. Please have a seat. Well, thank you. Now, let's clarify. 4 of you, do you speak collectively for the Caelythan people, or is one of you going to speak for all of you?
Sesa speaks up. I have been nominated to speak for the 4 of us.
Very well. Well, there's a situation as I see it. You've got the Zenkethi sitting out here ready to annihilate this planet and go to war with the Federation over it. That complication on the matter is, as you see it, the conflict with the Dominion is inevitable. I think it would be beneficial for your people to relocate from this world. And hopefully that will soothe the nature of the Zenkethi. But we have some concerns.
As do we. But we will hear your concerns first.
Well, to be honest, I have some concerns with your people's cavalier attitude towards other sentient species. If we're going to give you safe haven within within Federation space, it must be understood that the involuntary servitude of other sentient species will not be permitted.
Are we to abide by Federation laws and customs?
If we were to live within your space, would you not expect the same of us?
That is irrelevant, since we do no longer have space, or territory that we call our own.
While living within Federation territory, you would be expected to abide by Federation law, just like any other member world. And eventually you may be allowed to apply for Federation membership. But in the immediate term, I would propose a temporary alliance just to get your people someplace safe, but move to ease tensions with the Zenkethi. Get you further away from the wormhole so you're not bothered by the Dominion should they come to the wormhole, and allow you to regrow your civilization.
if we were to accept your offer, will your people be willing to give us appropriate means to transport the individuals that will need to be taken from this world to our new home, as well as provide certain construction techniques to rebuild our cities, as well
I'm
as
sure. Sorry, go ahead.
agricultural and other facilities needed to hold such a large population.
I will have to clear everything with the Federation, but I don't see any problem with the Federation being willing to help resettle your people, to help you with reconstruction equipment and agricultural needs. It might be helpful if you can slow down the regrowth process of your people, though. 3 million within, how long would it take for each facility to regrow 3 million people?
On their own, it only does approximately 4 people a day. However, that process will eventually speed up over time as more pods are able to come online as we allocate the appropriate resources.
But it could remain at the same pace if you don't reallocate those resources.
That would not be ideal. That will take several millennia to complete.
Well, eventually we can speed up the process. But again, the selection of a proper new homeworld for your people may take time. Slowing down the process, at least until we can find you a new world and get it set for your needs, would be, as my Commander Solak here would say, logical.
The slowest the process could go is 4 people a day. However, would you be able to guarantee the safety and transportation of this process? You alone said the Third Dominion is nearby, as well as the Zenkethi may not like you transporting our people to a new safe haven. Are you willing to risk your lives for us?
Since I'm already risking my lives for you. If I wasn't willing to do that, this vessel and Commander Kier's vessel would have just stepped aside. We can arrange for transportation. Out of curiosity, I can't imagine this is the only world with facilities like this. You've got 4 regrowth centers on this world at 4 people a day. How many worlds are we talking about?
One of them is offline. I cannot say for the others.
How many were there 1,000 years ago?
It would appear not enough.
Do you say that because your people have not already come out of, let's say, their long sleep?
It would appear that we are the only ones.
Well, certainly you know where the other worlds are. We can send scout ships to check them out.
There's no need. If they're not online, they must have been destroyed or suffer some sort of calamity.
Well, your own facility was offline until our people repaired your terraforming generator. It is possible if the others still exist, we might be able to restart them as well.
But the system was still online, correct?
Well, as I understand it, this one is online because we repaired it. If we had not repaired it, it would not be online.
Logs did show that the terraforming equipment did not fail. It was, well, unstable and could not complete the process. All of our systems are interconnected, even the ones on the other worlds. Our system did not detect any of the other systems, which means we are the only one.
I see. So, if the Federation can guarantee that we will transport your people to a new world and assist you with equipment, your people will have to do the work, but we'll provide you with the equipment you need. Industrial size replicators and such. You would agree to be willing to be moved, and at the very least sign a non-aggression pact with the Federation. I'd hate to have 12 million people. If I'm going to allow 12 million brand new folks into our space, we'd at least like to have an agreement to ensure peace between our peoples.
Terms are unacceptable.
Which part?
We will only consider such possibilities if you are able to provide us with a certain world that is deemed useful to our growth and development.
And what is this world that you need? What are your needs exactly?
A world similar to this one, untainted,
Define untainted.
a world void of intelligent animals.
You want a planet to yourselves.
Correct.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard. The Federation Cartography Center has a whole list of categorized worlds that are on lists to be colonized but aren't inhabited yet. We thought this one was uninhabited when we started setting up, and we have the basics of infrastructure set down on the planet waiting to be deployed.
And your people would agree to abide by Federation law.
Only if you can guarantee our safety. If you cannot, then we would simply ask you to find us another world suitable for our technology.
So our agreement would be to find you another world and provide you transportation to that world, you and your people. Yes?
That would be acceptable.
That there would be, we would protect your people from threats while you're able to grow. But once your people are repopulated, there would be peace between our people. No more involuntary servitude of sentient species.
Define your sentience.
Lieutenant Commander Ray, you're my science officer. Define sentience for us.
Yes, sir. As we define sentience, it is the ability to experience feeling and have cognitive abilities, such as awareness and emotional reactions. If they are able to experience something as positive or negative, have a language, a culture, they are considered sentient.
I cannot guarantee that. I may not be the leader in the future. I am just a scientist, after all.
So are you saying that any agreement between you and I, you cannot guarantee that your people would abide by it?
Only in the short term. Long term, that may change. And new agreements must be forged.
Very well. Again, I have to run this up the flagpole. That's a human idiom for I must speak to my superiors.
We have our own hierarchical system that must vote on things like this.
We assumed as much.
But in the meantime, the quarters we have set up for you, they are acceptable.
They are.
Anything you need while we discuss this?
Our facilities produce food at certain intervals. Depending on how long we stay here, we would like them to be brought up to us for consumption.
That can be arranged.
Understood.
If you'll follow your escorts back to your quarters, we'll let you know when we hear back from our superiors.
She stands, the rest of them stand, and then they will walk out of the conference room.
Now it is
A
whether
very
these.
slow. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I do a very slow chair turn back to the other side of the table and look at Solak and the captain and be like, sentient? Maybe a problem?
The question now is whether or not the Zinkethi will agree to this bargain.
Honestly, I'm overly tempted to lock photon torpedoes on that, on the terraforming generator and end this now. These people worry me.
Maybe the Zinkethi were right.
Commander Kier, Commander Rye, your telepathic senses, if you sense any deception, anything that could be useful for decision making here.
Emotions weren't a thing for me. I couldn't pick up anything. I felt them less than I feel Commander Solak here. It wasn't blocked. It just there is none. It's basically emotionless over there.
Or they're developed enough that they can hide from you and not believe that impression.
I don't think so. I think I would have known if it was a block. I did sense their existence. They exist almost without emotion, but not in a good way.
Most remarkable. Vulcans could spend their entire lives trying to achieve that state.
Yes, but Vulcans seek to grow beyond. Almost feels like they didn't grow them at all. That's what I was getting.
Or that they at some
Commander?
point in
The
their
sense-
evolution removed them.
I get a sense they evolved to that point. It seems to me they're very calculating. Everything they do is... The way she spoke was with the utmost scrutiny to get favorable results from us.
Ultimately, Captain, the decision here is not yours, it is Starfleet's. The question remains, though, will the Zinkethi accept this as an alternative?
Well, there's only one way to find out. My guess is going to be no, unless I'm better at what I do than I think I am.
And if the
Not
answer
gonna lie,
is
Captain,
no,
you've been pretty good.
and if the answer is no, we have to be either prepared to defend ourselves or run.
This is also assuming Starfleet is willing to pick up the pace and move millions of people, devote the resources to that.
It's going to take a lot of shifts, but at 4 people a day, it will take a while for them to grow.
About 2
I got the
millennia.
impression that was a small, slow pace. It seemed to me like in her mind she had this vision of, like, I had this imagery when you brought that up that it was a giant vet system. It's the best I could describe it.
Well, they certainly won't want to go to that space and pace for very long.
I wonder if there's more to those bunkers than what our sensors can detect.
Well, she did say they were capable of expanding their capacity for regenerating new citizens.
And they may have defensive qualities that we don't know about.
She very carefully didn't tell us anything.
Commander Kier, was there any evidence of defense mechanisms around that terraforming generator?
None. We actually had to set up some ourselves.
The
But
gas
it
trap.
is
There was a
possible
gas
that
trap.
Yes, down subtract the inner chamber. But in terms for outer defense, there was none. It was the same with these bunkers.
At least not how we saw defense. If they are as advanced as all this seems to be, we might not be looking for the right thing.
Or their defenses haven't been built yet. Or there's something else in the system that we don't know about.
Well, that's a cheerful thought. We have time now. But once I approach Zenkethy and tell them that their fears are accurate, that these are their so-called demons, Zenkethy may act. Problem is, I'm not sure if maybe we shouldn't let the Zenkethy win.
Wonder what Starfleet's gonna say.
Who said we have to tell them? And frankly, we're outnumbered 2-1. They may win anyway. I'm not sacrificing the lives of everyone aboard 2 starships for a fight I'm not sure we should be winning. There's only one way to find out. Commander Kier, would you like to have a discussion with the Zenkethy with me?
I'll do my best.
If we have 5 minutes, do we want to do this now? I bet the GM's answer is yes, we want to do this now.
You just messaging the Zenkethy, have him over comms, or you asking him to come aboard the ship?
Let's invite him on board. They're less likely to open fire if their leader's on board my ship. Theoretically.
Will you allow the Zenkethy to have an escort with him on board?
If he'd like to bring command staff with him, but I'm not going to have armed guards on board my ship. No more than he would want to have armed Starfleet officers on his.
He
So
would
a
probably
pair of
agree to that.
diplomatic aides?
Well, he will agree to it, but he's going to bring over guards. Just so, they won't be armed, or they'll relinquish their weapons.
That's fine. We'll have a security detail very close by, just in case. I'd like to requisition a squad of Klingons, please.
Commander, do you have further need of me in this situation?
Your
I do
insights are
not.
with
If-
Thank you. I will return to the Artemis and start going over the information I've collected on the Caelythans. I'm going to write a paper. Excuse me, Commander, Captain.
Well, thank you for coming aboard, Captain.
Have you come to a decision, Captain Perone?
We need to have a discussion first. How aware are you of what's on the other side of the wormhole?
Only what our intelligence have gathered. Another species that threatens the Alpha Quadrant.
That's a group call themselves the Dominion. They're much like the Federation, I think. Made up of a multitude of worlds, though unlike the Federation, they seem to have a more central leadership than we do. They are a threat. It's that threat that these Caelythans, the people that you call demons, were fleeing when your people met them 1,000 years ago.
Go on.
From talking to them, they admit that they used your people in their war against the Dominion. They even claim to have modified your people some. These things I find very disturbing. Probably not as disturbing as you do, but disturbing nonetheless. But I am hesitant to condemn an entire species to oblivion over things they did 1,000 years ago. But I understand your concerns. I have some of my own. I propose to move them somewhere far away from your space. We'll find them a world that meets their needs elsewhere. And we'll move them away from you.
That is unacceptable, Captain. They are a threat to everyone, not just us.
They may be that. But I may need more evidence of that before I can condemn 12 million people to death. They prove it to be the threat that you think they are, that I suspect they may be, and the Federation will stand by the Zenkethi against them. But 1,000 years is a long time. They should be given the opportunity to grow and change before we condemn an entire species to death.
They had their chance and lost. Why bring about a destructive force again upon us?
That's why we propose to move them, so that they cannot be a threat to your people again.
Eventually they will be, and to you as well. Stories told they had the ability to move through walls, take people from their beds, their nest, in a blink of an eye. Now, that sounds similar to transporter technology. But still, a species like that, willing to do as they please with others.
I have made it very clear to these people that the enslavement of sentient species will not be acceptable. I intend to hold them to that. What they did to your people 1,000 years ago is unacceptable. It will not be permitted to happen again.
I have my orders, Captain. I merely allowed you to indulge upon your scientific nature. I will not fail my people.
Will you not at least contact your superiors and see if my proposal to relocate them would be acceptable to your leaders?
I will have to contact them again. But my orders were clear: to eliminate the demon threats.
Now, from a certain point of view, moving them would be able to eliminate the threat.
More like prolonging it, Captain.
I understand. Contact your leaders and tell them that we will stand between them and you. We've made peace with the Zenkethi. We prefer to keep it. But unless my orders change, I've also been told that I have to defend this planet.
Then it seems we may be at a crossroad. I will indulge this, but I assure you, she will not waver in this. Excuse me, Captain.
Thank you for your indulgence, Captain.
And he gets up and they leave.
Well, this just gets better and better. Prawn will hit a command button on the table. Ops, get me Starfleet Command, the Admiral.
Aye, sir. And a few moments later, Admiral Gibson appears on the I don't know why his token disposition changes all the time. There we go. Status report, Captain.
We're at an impasse, Admiral. We've got 4 of these Caelythans that have come out of their. We're going to call them regrown. They may be willing to be relocated away from the Zenkethi, but I have concerns. The Zenkethi description of who these people are seems to be fairly accurate. They admit to enslaving the Zenkethi people, and they seem to have no regrets about it. They also seem very cagey about agreeing not to do that anymore. I have concerns that if we allow these people to repopulate, that we may be placing a Dominion level threat within our own borders. And starting a war with the Zenkethi. The Zenkethi commander is going to talk to their leaders about the possibility of them accepting a relocation of the Caelythans. I hold out as little hope for that as the commander does.
What is your recommended course of action then, Captain? I'm assuming you wish to relocate them.
I told the Zenkethi I am not. It's not of my nature to condemn 12 million people to the void. But there's something about these Caelythans that worries me. I'd like to relocate them, find a world for them. But if the Zenkethi do not agree, and I'm hesitant to throw away the lives of the crew of two starships to defend these people that think nothing of enslaving other races. And that won't. Again, I can't nail them down and promise to not do it again.
Seems we're in an impossible situation, Captain.
Indeed.
How many people will need to be relocated?
Ultimately 12 million. And once they start, they'll start out at about 4 people a day, but that's going to increase exponentially. And I get the impression that won't take very long. If these people are the threat the Zenkethi think they are, there'll be 12 million of them fairly quickly. And I'm not sure, you probably will look at Commander Kier, I'm not sure what resources they have here to defend themselves or to become an aggressor species without any help so far. They may have resources we haven't found yet.
I agree with Captain Brown's statement, Admiral. They can also have technology that allows them to create vast networks. They do have the capability to completely terraform a planet in a matter of months, it seems like. The fact it failed and the planet was stable for a millennia is remarkable in itself. I exercise extreme caution with dealing with these people, Admiral.
Well, I am not for one who take kindly in issuing orders to extermination of an entire race of people. However, I will have to talk with the Federation Council to get transport ships to move these millions of people to a new home, even if we can find one in a suitable amount of time. For all we know, they could jeopardize the colony on Gimulon 5. If there's a large number of them, they may just inevitably decide to stay there, too.
Yes, the ones that are awake are scientists. They can't even guarantee that any pact that they make with the Federation today will be honored in the future.
Until I can get confirmation that Federation will be willing to undertake such a large relocation effort, your orders are to keep the Zenkethi at bay and continue defending Gamelon 5, even if being caught brings us into war. As for the Caelythans, use your best judgment when dealing with them.
I understand.
Admiral Gibson out.
Well, Commander, it looks like the ball's in our court again.
The virtues of being in command.
Just in case, that terraforming generator. Would a photon torpedo spread destroy it?
Don't even really need that. We have engineering staff on standby even at the terraform. We've even putting shields in place. All we have to do is just turn it off.
But doing so condemns 12 million people.
The real question is, how do we know there's not more of these satellite colonies? Are they copies of each other? Are they...
No, I'm not
sentient
sure.
beings?
I'm not sure that I believe her when she says the others are offline.
The Zenkethi were at the Civic system, correct?
I believe so.
That could have been a colony site. They did try to annex it.
If the Zenkethi agree to relocation of the Caelythans, then we'll proceed with that plan for now. If they don't, we'll defend the plan as ordered, but I'm not going to sacrifice the lives of both of our crews over this. Between you and me, if the Zenkethi decide to disagree, we'll fight. But we may allow ourselves to be driven off. Understand?
I understand. I'm not sure it'll sit with Captain Nolan, but he did leave me in charge of this operation.
Like you said, it's the joys of sitting in the big chair. Very well.
Indeed.
Let's get our ships ready to fight, because I have a feeling we're going to.
Well, if you excuse me, I think I need to return to the Artemis.
I agree. Good luck, Commander.
You as well, Captain. Oh, if we do make out this alive, our sisters did pick up a nice fishing spot near the colony that we selected.
That sounds wonderful.
Good luck, Captain.
To you as well. Stay alive. Starfleet's asking us to defend this place, not give our lives for it.
Godspeed.
And with that, that'll bring an end to the Caelythans.